Hey guys, so we're getting a lot of interesting price action on Bitcoin lately, like a huge pump. So I know a lot of you guys are looking for a pullback, so let's take a look and see what's going on. Now, when I do my analysis, I always start on the long-term time frames to see where we are. So I'm just going to do an analysis on Bitcoin here, and I'll just give you my thoughts. So on the monthly chart, you'll see that it's quite obvious that we're coming into a new phase, a new bullish cycle. So if you look at this indicator, this is the stochastic, and you notice that every single time we came to this lower region, and then they cross, and then they come back out. When they come back out, we didn't come back down until the bull market was over. So right here in 2015, they crossed, and we had the halving in 2016, I believe. So 1 year before the halving, we got the cross, and they came out of this region. From there, we went all the way up, the entire bull market, and then it only ended when we crossed and came back down. So the cross up this region until the cross down, that was this full cycle. Now, the bear cycle, the bear period in that brought us all the way down below this 20 region again until we crossed, came back out, and once we came back out, we did not come back down until the peak of this, right? Now, here we are again. We went all the way down, way below this 20 level. We got the cross, and we came back out. Came back out in April. And here we are. This looks like the start of a new bull market. And the monthly candle is still forming, but what we have here, you see how this, I changed the color on this one to white, but normally this would be green. This is, see how the candle body covers the previous one? This is called a bullish engulfing candle. So we have this indicator here, the stochastic, which shows that we've come out and we're starting a new bull cycle. And then even the candlestick formation, we have a bullish engulfing candle. Depending on how this closed, we still have another week in a month. I mean, if it sells off and comes back down, it's gonna wipe this out. But assuming it closed like this today, then the people that trade on the monthly time frame, they're gonna take this as a buy signal, right? So there's a lot of people. When you look at the longer term time frames, they're more significant because you have more people looking at it. The big money does not look at the 5 minute time frame, the 10 minute time frame, the 1 hour time frame, even a 4 hour time frame, because they have a lot of money to get in and they just don't have. It's just not worth it for them to buy 15-minute candles, right? They don't have the liquidity. But so they look. The big money tends to trade on the longer term time frame. The more swing traders. So they're going to see this bullish engulfing candle, which I mean they're probably already in down here because this was a big bullish engulfing candle. And they knew this was the turnaround point because they probably just ran a fib from the bottom to the top here. And they saw that this was the 50% retracement level. So that's, I mean, yeah, they would probably have a lot of money probably came in here, right? So you got the 50% and we got a doji which maintained this level, boom. And then they all just took that as a signal and came in. But anyway, if there's any money on the sidelines, big money on the sidelines that's trading the long term, this is another confirmation candle to get in. So let's dial this back down to the weekly now. What are we seeing? Yeah, so what we're getting here is you can look at a pattern. So we had a breakdown here down to the 50, then we shot up, and what we formed here. So if you take a horizontal trend line, where is it here? Oh, wrong one. Horizontal line, and then you draw. We had here. Normally, I like to draw it from the candle bodies, and then make it like a range. So you had that candle body to the wicks, horizontal line here. So you had this range. Came up, resistance, came back down, resistance again, came down. Then we shot up. And when you break the resistance, more often than not, the price is going to come back and test it as support. So that's what we did. When you look at the the candles on the chart, it doesn't look like a big deal, but going through this was just nerve-wracking. So we came here and we did a retest. We just retested, and here we are shooting out of it. And this actually makes a chart pattern called a head and shoulders, but an inverse head and shoulders. So you have shoulder, head, shoulder, and then the breakout retest. So this is looking, this is looking very promising. So if we dial this back, now let's see where we are on the daily. On the daily here, we're actually at a resistance level. So this previous high, we've reached it right now. And if I look over, I have two TradingView open on two browsers because I want to look at different things. But on this one, I have Lux Algo on, and I'm just going to assume if I go to the daily, yeah, here we go. We bounced off. We came to this point. I would guess that we're probably getting a signal to take profit. So if I turn the price action concepts on, oh no, that's not the one. Yeah, okay, so we'll come back to that. Yeah, the signals and overlays on Lux Algo. So I mentioned in the Phantom video that these here, this blue line and this red line, these are called the Smart Trail. And they do two things. They're a dynamic support and resistance. So you see here, when the price comes to it, it shoots off. It serves as support here and all over the place. And it also indicates the trend, right? So when it's blue, when the price is above it and it's blue, it shows an uptrend, and vice versa with the red. So what we have right now, actually, number one, we're getting the X because this is the indicator telling you now is a good time to take some profit off the table. But there's a lot of time, if you look at here, where you get the X, the take profit signal, and the price keeps going. So they recommend when you see the X's, you close partial position. So we are getting a signal to take some profits off the table at this point. And it makes sense because we're at this previous high here. Now, but what's interesting, Lux gave the buy signal down here as we were nearing the top of the wedge, right? So it's kind of a questionable buy. It turned out to be a good signal, but you would not want to buy right at the resistance level. Say you bought this candle, you still saw a lot of upside here. But now we're seeing this Smart Trail has flipped bullish again, right? So we were under it here, flipped bullish, which indicates the new uptrend. Now, would you want to buy here? No, absolutely not. If I dial this down further, what we're going to see is this. This is called the Ultimate Stochastic Indicator. It's part of the Lux package. This is really overbought. We're at 96, and with a few exceptions, more often than not, when the price comes up to this high region, for example, up here, it came to 95. We got the X, the take profit signal, and then we came down. This just oscillates. It's a momentum oscillator. We came up here. We got the south signal, and look what happened. So you would not want to buy up here. More often than not, you don't want to buy up here and buy up here, right? So we're really high on this. I would not be surprised if we got a retrace. Now the question becomes, okay, if we get a retrace, where are the potential buy areas? So we know it's good to take some profits off the table if you're in this trade. I'm not saying we can't go higher. We definitely can, because as I showed you on the longer term time frames, this is really the start of the next bull cycle. So if you have some, but if I had a large position in Bitcoin right now that was on an exchange, I would be taking some profits off the table and looking for a reentry. Maybe not necessarily 100%, but now let's look at where could we buy if we do see a retrace. Okay, so now if we dial it back to the 1 hour, what we're seeing is we got a sell signal right here, but we came down, like I said, we came down to this Smart Trail support, and that's where we're getting supported right now. So I would look to wait for this. If this breaks down and then this flips red over top, then I would probably get out, and I would look for an area to buy. And to find an area to buy, what I look for is confluence. So let's turn this off and let's turn on this indicator. So what we have here is this shows a high volume profile here and here. So right here, there's a lot of orders lined up, and this is between 28,465 and 28,648. Another thing to take note of that a lot of people don't talk about is the previous day high and the previous day low. So here is yesterday's high, and down here is yesterday's low. Yesterday's low was around 28,214. And these pretty much always act, maybe 80 to 90% of the time, you'll get some reaction at these levels. So the previous day high, if you come up to it, it might be a good place to look for a short, depending if you have other factors that line up. And also down here, if the price starts crashing down and you come to the previous day low, it's an area to take note of. All right, so we have this area and this area. So what I like to do, let's draw a fib from the bottom here up to the top, and let's see if we get any confluence. So we are here. We see here we have this cluster where we had this was basically a bull flag, and we had a break of support. That's what this indicates, and that as soon as we broke that, we shot up. That lines up with the 3A2 Fibonacci pullback around 29,111. If that breaks, then we have the 50% Fibonacci, which coincidentally lines up with this volume profile right here. So that would be another area to take note of. And then below that, we have the 618, which is right near the previous day high. Now, do I think we're going to come all the way back to that? It's hard to say. We're so bullish right now. But more often than not, what you have is, let me straighten this out. This is drawn on a longer term time frame, so that's why you get these little bodies poking out, these wicks poking out. But okay, here. We haven't really, if I draw it here, when we broke out of this this downtrend line. Oh yeah, and we came right up to here. Okay. We broke out of it. We haven't really retested it. So that would be a massive pullback to do a retest on this around just under 27,000. But I think we do have some strong levels before that happens. So right now, what I would look for, I would not get into a short until I saw a breakdown of this level here, this smart trail, right? Or this breakdown would be what this. I guess if you guys don't have this indicator, you're not gonna know. I would recommend getting this package. I'll leave a link to it in the description along with a discount. But if this flips, it's around 29.5. If this flips, then I would look to 29.1, 28.637, and then below that, then obviously the 618 here, 28.184, which is kind of backstopped with the previous day low. So that's where we are right now, guys. We're very bullish. We are starting a new cycle now. Shorting's risky, but also longing's risky. So I would just wait and see and look for an entry. Right now, if I was in, I would take some profits off the table and look to get that money in at a lower price. But I wouldn't get 100% out, right? So yeah, that about wraps it up. Again, I'll leave a link to these this indicator set in the first comment, the pinned comment of this video. Highly recommended. It gives you a lot of cool information. But yeah, I'll do some more TA videos on some other coins today, and maybe discuss a trading method. So if this is the first time you came across this channel, subscribe. That would be great. And yeah, that about wraps it up. Take care, guys.